Hello from Turkey. Welcome to our channel. My name is Ufuk Sayın. Today we will talk about are the US and Israel losing the war with retired Brigadier General Ufuk Uras. Welcome, General.
Thank you, Colonel.
Uh, General, last Friday, Iran shot down two US aircraft, and it is claimed that two US helicopters were hit by Iran. And the day before yesterday, during the search and rescue operation to rescue the downed F-15 aircraft officer, US has lost again two C-130 and at least two other helicopters. Before this, Iran hit a US AWACS aircraft and several tanker aircrafts on US bases. Iran is also successfully striking key facilities in Israel. For example, oil refinery, the vicinity of a nuclear base, military air bases, and Ben Gurion Airport. Now we can see Iran has full control over the Hormuz Strait. Meanwhile, Iran allies such as Houthis, Hezbollah, and militants in Iraq are conducting operations against US and Israel. When we think all about these, can we say that the US and Israel are losing the war?
The most important indicator for losing or winning a war is the achievement of the war objectives. The United States and Israel are very far from achieving the military and political objectives of the war, which were mentioned on the very first days of the operation. They wanted to change the regime. They wanted to destroy all ballistic missiles of Iran. They wanted to cut the support of Iran to its proxies in the region. These were, and also most importantly, the ending of Iran's nuclear program and capturing the enriched uranium and taking it outside Iran. None of these objectives were achieved by Israel and the United States. So that means they are not winning the war. On the contrary, Iran has managed to establish full control over the Strait of Hormuz, which was a very important strategic move. And now Iran has the upper hand over the developments. If the US and Israel are not able to win the war, that means Iran is winning the war despite all the damages and losses that Iran is suffering. So Iran, as I said, has the upper hand over the developments and still is capable of firing missiles to Israel, to the US targets in the region, and also successfully shot down US aircrafts in the recent days, as you have just mentioned. All these indicate that Iran is still intact and has not lost the war, and US and Israel are still far from achieving their war objectives.
Okay, here I have a question. Is that a real rescue operation for USA? And what do you think? Is it a real rescue operation or do they have any other targets?
There are some claims about this operation. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
rescue operation. We don't know for 100%, but it seems like they have rescued the weapons systems officer of the shutdown F-15. On the other side, there are some claims that this operation was also carried out simultaneously with another operation to take the enriched uranium from Isfahan nuclear facility of Iran. Some commentators in the United States say that this is one of the reasons why they have used such a large force for this rescue operation, because there were two C-130s in this operation. And allegedly, there were AH-6 helicopters in these C-130s. There were 4 helicopters. These are small helicopters. The intention to use these helicopters for the operation to the nuclear site. So when this operation failed, they were not able to take the enriched uranium. But this is not verified, and we don't know for sure whether this was really an operation targeting the nuclear site. Maybe in the coming days, we may see new information about this on media.
Okay, according to the latest developments and Trump's speech yesterday, how do you see the future of the war? Do you think it will drag on or will end soon? What are the possible scenarios for you?
There are several scenarios, but before that, yesterday, Trump made a speech, and most of his speech was about the rescue operation. He extended the deadline to Iran for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I think tonight at 20 hours US time, this deadline will end, and Trump threatens Iran that he will destroy Iran. So there are 4 scenarios. The first one is a peace deal between the United States and Iran. There is now a process going on with the contribution of Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey. The Chief of General Staff of Pakistan, Field Marshal Asim Munir, he proposed a plan both to the United States and to Iran for a ceasefire, but ceasefire proposal was rejected by Iran. Iran now proposed 10-point plan which would end the war completely. Iran doesn't want to go for a ceasefire, but wants to end the war completely. This is one of the reasons why Iran wants to do this in this way is because Iran does not trust to the United States. Usually when there's a ceasefire, the warring parties replenish their forces, they recover their losses, and they prepare for a second round of fight. And this is one of the reasons why Iran does not want to go for a ceasefire, but wants to go directly to a peace agreement. There are some important articles in this 10-point, which was proposed by Iran. First, Iran wants US to end its attacks. Iran wants also assurances that US will not continue its attacks in the future. Iran wants all sanctions be lifted. Iran also wants to establish a system in the Strait of Hormuz and wants to sign a protocol, seeing Oman as the main partner, and aims to charge all ships which passes through the strait for $2 million for their passage. And Iran also wants to use this income for the rebuilding and reconstruction of Iran.
Yes.
So these are some key demands from Iran. Additionally, Iran also wants Israel to end its attacks to Lebanon and also US attacks to Iran allies in the region. Although it has not been acknowledged officially by the United States, but this was found as maximalist demands. So the peace doesn't seem likely at this moment. The second scenario is intensified air operations and intensified damage to the Iran. President Trump threatened Iran by the destruction of Iran's power plants, energy facilities. They may do it, but in case of this is going to happen, Iran may retaliate by targeting similar type of facilities in the Gulf countries. Also, Iran may target similar systems in Israel. So that means an escalation in the situation. The third scenario is a land operation to the Strait of Hormuz by the United States. You know, some forces have already been deployed into the region from the Pacific region. There are forces now on the way being deployed to the region. The biggest problem here is the possible casualties and losses. So this operation will be, as you know, very costly because amphibious operations, airborne operations, air assault operations are very risky operations. And furthermore, Iran has laid many mines surrounding the islands, has very robust fortification on the islands and at some critical locations in the shores of Iran. The US military authorities are rejecting this. I mean, they are opposing the idea of conducting a land operation because of its possible consequences. And that led to some chaotic environment in the strategic circles in the United States. You know, the chief of army resigned, had to be resigned. Some generals were fired, removed from their positions. And the Secretary of War, there are some rumors that he will be fired from his position by Trump. And there are people who are talking about another scenario, which is the use of nuclear weapons.
It is still on table.
Yes, it is. I mean, there are people are discussing this in the academic circles. They are talking about a possible use of nuclear weapons in case they are not able to reach their objectives. In my opinion, this is not very likely. It is a low possibility, but still is a possibility. So overall, the United States and Israel are in a tightened position strategically because they are not able to develop a strategy which would allow them to win the war.
Okay, General, I wonder here something shortly about the rescue operation. Trump yesterday talked about 1 hour and repeated again and again the same things. And do you think is that a successful operation? Okay, they rescued the pilot, but they lost aircrafts and helicopters. What do you think?
So if it is only a rescue operation, yes, they rescued the pilot. The operation reached its goal, but the losses cost around $500 million, the loss of airplanes and helicopters. So it's very costly operation for the United States. But you know, United States has many aircrafts and many types of aircrafts. The total number of air assets of United States is over 10,000. However, the psychological impact of this operation is very important. And there was an opinion that they are untouchable. They are suffering serious losses, and that has a psychological impact both on the US administration, US military, and in the international circles. Concerning the 1 hour speech, he spent most of his time in his speech to the rescue operation. He presented this as a success story, and he also used this as an opportunity to distract the people's attention from the negative results of the war. As I said at the beginning, that US and Israel are not able to reach their war objectives, but with a small operation, they are trying to give the impression to the people that they are winning the war. This is not true. This is completely wrong.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching us. Hope to see you again on our next programs.